We have lived in this bus for about 4 years.
Yep.
About 4 years.
4 years full time on the bus.
We live in a bus because it aligns with some of our values about being nomadic, being self-sufficient.
Moving more towards minimalism as well. Definitely travel, though. We really enjoy the freedom. We love places, extended time in places. Yeah, we couldn't imagine living in a house. It's really funny.
We've had, we maybe tested van life a little bit, maybe, and not so much. It's better for some things, and then the bus, of course, is better for, I think, sustainable long-term living.
Yeah, more space.
A little more space.
Here's the front of the bus. You typically Randy drives. I did get my air brakes, so I'm learning. It's a steep learning curve, though. It's quite a different machine to drive. So up here, I attended school this year, so of course I compiled a ton of books. And before that, we were more like Kindle and Audible kind of people. But now that I collected all these books, Randy built me a bookshelf to store all of them, which was fantastic. So it definitely helps to be handy in that regard. Chair, it's a swivel chair, so it's great for guests and all that.
I bought this for $20,000 or $25,000 and probably sunk another 20 into it. So, it's $50,000 maybe. And the price has gone up, so maybe you can get something like this for $60,000. And you could start small and work your way up to that. But really, if you're not paying, we're paying half or less of rent. So $1,000 a month, $12,000 a year, you just got to commit to spending it, I think, because it's not about, right? We're trying to live our life with abundance, and so we still work very hard, and we want to earn money and do all the things that we want to do. But there is another side to it where you're like, hey, I want to be kind of a minimal working guy and work part-time just enough to survive. It works for that too. I think the benefits of living in this type of lifestyle tie in with what we originally said about why we'd live on a bus and the benefit of being able to up and leave. It only becomes valuable when we can't get up and leave, oddly enough. So when we find ourselves in a spot where we're kind of tied down for whatever, for other reasons, it's like there's this desire to go.
So for traveling, we plan on going across Canada this summer, and instead of hopping on a plane, it's we get to meander our way. We get to spend time in certain places and kind of see the magic that happens in these small towns. We get to meet the locals, and we really get that feel for what that's like. This is kind of our multi-purpose room. So we have our couch here, which I reupholstered, kind of cut out pieces of foam and all that, and made some cushions. And then we have our dining table, which can fold down to give us lots of space. And then it folds up to dine, like so. And everything in the bus, of course, has to be multi-purpose. So we have a dining chair and also a cone.
So one of the things we struggled with was transportation when we're parked. So in a perfect world, you wouldn't have access to a vehicle. We just use our electric skateboards, and that's what we prefer. We spent most of our time doing that. But then we find ourselves at a place like this where the walk score is terrible. We needed a vehicle. So I went and grabbed my old 1968 Carmen Ghia, and for better or for worse, we've got like a tow bar, and we haul this thing around now. So I don't know what the answer is. If you're in a van life, obviously you don't need this, because that's what you do. You just hop in the van and go get groceries. But we're kind of spoiled now with having this and the skateboards. We got a couple of them. That's pretty much all we need. $1,500 gets you an Evolve, and it'll run for 20 kilometers at reasonable speeds. That one there is a company out of Montreal. It's a lot more money. It's unnecessary. I wouldn't have done it again. But yeah, it goes at speeds that you probably would have no business going, probably 70 kilometers an hour or something. But in any event, they're fun, they're a little bit dangerous, and they're a great solution for bus life.
Day to day, I mean, we're definitely closer connected to nature. So we feel the temperature rise and drop. So definitely connected to nature.
It's cozy, cramped potentially. The reality is, we're human beings and we need space. And being a couple, there's challenges there. And I think, and again, we're fairly spoiled because the buses, I can probably be on the other side and you can't even, like, you don't even know I'm in there ish. That's a challenge. So you have to be
just more aware of when you need space and how you get that space.
Community is a whole topic. So you live on a bus, and who do you go to the pub with? You get build relationships locally, and after a year, we do.
Yeah.
But it's not like back when you're in a regular house where you can anticipate almost hanging out with your pals.
Actually did a huge renovation a couple years ago now. So we took down the original kind of vinyl and installed a ton of as much insulation as we could fit up there. And then we found this kind of beautiful velvety headliner and glued that on. So all kind of homemade. It's kind of imperfect, but it works for us. So you'll notice like the front end of the bus is a white, and then at the back we actually transitioned to gray, and that was just because we ran out. But with this light kind of curvature here, you can't even tell. So everything in the bus is kind of mid-century modern. That's the aesthetic we went for. So curves and kind of designs like that. We have this propane heater. So within the bus, I think we have 3 different heating systems. This is one of them. Beautiful propane fireplace.
The fact that we can get up and go anytime we want. The challenge that comes with that is now like a decision fatigue.
Is it?
We'll stand there like, geez, we can. It's like when you're sitting in front of ChatGPT and you're like, I could ask it anything. But it's almost anxiety invoking. So there's a bit of decision fatigue.
And then you finally get to a place, like a new place, and you're not really sure where to go. Where do you go? Before we had the washing machine, where do you go get your laundry done? Where can I get a cup of coffee? Where do I get my groceries done? Where's the gym? Like it takes a minute to ground yourself in a place. Another thing is showers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Tubs.
Like the more we shower, the more our water tank fills up. So we try not to do that so often on the bus. So we'll usually get a gym membership, which is it's a plus for us because it gets us to go to the gym or yoga. But that's how we go and shower. And so it's definitely more work. You can't just go and have a nice hot shower before bed. I guess like when we're on the road, it's quite different because when we're plugged in, it's very smooth. Everything's running quite smoothly. The heat's working and or the air conditioning. We have water. We have a hose of water. Exactly. So when we're not plugged in, that's when more challenges arise for sure. So again, that's kind of why we like to stick around in these places for a longer amount of time. But when we are on the road, the challenges we are facing, where do we go to fill up our water and dump our tanks and dump our garbage? Where do we go for a shower?
Yeah.
And then we move into the kitchen. So lots of beautiful granite counter. We just installed that a couple years ago as well. Electric stove. We would probably prefer propane, but I mean, this is good for now. And then this extends our cutting board, extends our counter space quite a bit. Lots of storage for our pantries and all that kind of thing. We really enjoy making kombucha, and so I bought these for Randy for his birthday one year, and you could put like beer or kombucha in there, and so we'll have fresh kombucha on tap. We have more spices and everything in here, and then more storage for canned goods, and pot filler sink. A beautiful copper sink. So our fridge is a marine fridge. It's a nice size, and we also have a freezer too. So our marine fridge is run on 12 volt. This thing is great. It does so many things like air fry and broil and sear and everything and pressure cook, and so that's been kind of a game changer because we don't have an oven. And then of course we have our blender and latte machine.
What do I learn about living on a bus? I think the being self-reliant.
Yeah.
So the ability to deal with airbags blowing up on the highway, and so what's your default? How much anxiety is that? It's anxiety inducing when stuff falls off and breaks, and it's very expensive. And so how do you deal with chaos? How do you deal with maybe security issues, right? So who am I? Am I going to be running out there with a butcher knife trying to claim my space if somebody tries to get on the bus to protect the virtue of my woman? Well, yeah. But has it happened? No. So do I really know? I don't know. I would like to think so. Yeah, these are, it's ridiculous, but it's kind of a real thing. You're out there. Who are you? And you learn about how, you rely so heavily on, their social structure, and now we're not. We're quite self-reliant. And as a challenge as it is, I like it. It's been a point of pride to be able to be a bit disconnected from the grid.
I think I've learned just to be more aware of basically everything, like in regards to just minimalism, I suppose. So how much are we bringing into the bus? And if you buy something new, you typically, it needs a place. So maybe something has to go in return. But I guess that's what I've learned about myself is we really don't need everything you think you need. So we use peat moss. We dry out the peat moss, and that just helps everything absorb easier. And yeah, pretty standard for a composting toilet. Here's an office. So it used to be bunk beds in here, and Randy converted it into his office. So it works awesome. He just recently put the window in as well, and that was kind of a game changer for him. Just lets in some light. And then we also have storage up there. This is my closet. So it was a funny story when before I moved in, Randy, for a gal, it's kind of an important thing to have closet space. And this used to be his. So he gave this up for me, and you'll see his closet in a minute. More clothes for stocks and underwears and things like that. We also have a laundry machine.
Go ahead, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'd say they definitely have to be handy and willing to, get their hands dirty and figure out if there's a problem, how to fix it themselves. Like, that's going to save them a lot of money in the long run. Just more self-reliance, so learn how to be self-reliant.
But ultimately, planning out your rig, because they're not meant to be lived in. Like, RVs are not meant to be lived in. So if you buy some RV, which is the most convenient thing to do, they've got fridges and stoves, and you don't have to van life it. You can buy them for $10,000, you can probably get a decent little RV. But the reality is they're a shit show, and everything's plastic and everything. Nothing's meant to be lived in. Cabinets have, like you got IKEA and they open and shut their cabinets.
The moisture.
They don't do that in these things. Oh God, the moisture.
The moisture, yeah, it's meant for that.
Consider if you're doing a build out, insulation, foundation. Spend is an absorbent amount of money on insulation. Budget for it, and I think most people are closer than they think. It's not hard.
And so the bedroom, we have another fireplace here. So this one is a diesel fireplace. We have, as you can see, this rooftop skylight. So this is our roof. It leads up to our rooftop deck and through this marine ladder here. And we love, laying in bed and being able to see the stars. I recently took a piano, so I do online lessons. And Randy was somehow able to figure out where to put the full-size piano in the bus. And it's been amazing to have that kind of thing. So when I was talking about the closet, this is where Randy decided to put his closet. It obviously needs a little bit loving, but yeah, there's all of his nice hung out shirts. And that's what he gets. So it works. One of our main sources of heat would be from our mini split. Also great for air conditioning as well. And Randy had a clever idea to tuck that in so it's not so obvious and sticking out. And then we also have the hydronic heater as well. So many options for heat. If one system goes down, there's many more to use. My philosophy in life is to just live simply, just stay connected to nature.
And it's probably similar for me. I've always had a sort of adventure spirit. So, it doesn't have to be dangerous anymore, but it can be new and exciting and adventurous.
Like I'm just beginning some social media things and projects and things like that, so you can keep an eye on me through Instagram or I think TikTok a little bit, in permaculture, and then I have a website, impermaculture.ca. Yeah.
Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please share it with a friend. Also, if you want to watch more alternative dwellings, we got a playlist popping up right here, and we release new episodes every single Sunday, so consider subscribing.